says Mr. Diso is a washed-up barrister.
What did you say?
Yesterday, at the tribunal, you were drunk.
Okay. Now I've seen a number of actors there. So who is in the garden? With me here now. Can you guess? I wish I had time. I would just open the phone lines, play some music, and then I'll call you guess. The person who gets the right answer will get an iPhone 1. But you know, I guess this morning, Damilola Ogunsi is here with us this morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Feels good to be here.
Yeah,
once again.
Would you have wanted to guess and win iPhone 1?
Not particularly. I would have looked forward to cash prizes or something.
Oh, well, yeah. 100 naira is cash.
Look at that. Look at that from Channel TV. Good morning. So how are you?
I'm well. It's good to have you. He's a Nigerian actor, popularly known by his stage name Goldfish. Don't really look like one. Where did that come from, anyway?
Man, there are two major stories behind that name. There's a very interesting one and there's a romantic one. So do you want to toss a coin and pick one, or you want to hear the two?
I'm a guy, so I don't care, and I'm not gay, but you know.
I mean, thank God.
Okay, which one? Anyone, you make a choice.
So the goldfish is my persona. That really reflects who I am. The goldfish has no hiding place. So I celebrate, my uniqueness and all that. When I was in primary school, I went to a missionary primary school, St. Clair's. And, they used to ask us not to go to the convent. But I grew up with a family that treated me like everyone else. So I never felt any different in school. So we went to the convent, and one day they found us, and they shouted, and we all ran away. And they didn't chase us. But before the end of the class, that's how the headmaster and I think someone else just popped into the class and came to fish me out and said, don't you know that you are a goldfish? So that was where it actually started. That was the genesis of it. Okay. But, further along down the line, now this is now the romantic part where the name surfaced again. And that was about 2009 or 2008 or 9 or so. So I had this lovely girlfriend I was dating then. And her sisters used to call me the goldfish. Your goldfish is here, your goldfish is here. So I was about to restart my MCing career because I'd had several names from secondary school to university, different names I've used. So I just thought, but the goldfish, actually, your goldfish here, your goldfish here. So the goldfish. So the next event I was going to do, I just told the announcer that introduce me as the goldfish, and he did. And I've lived with that, the fact, and it was amazing. People applauded, and it was lovely. So now it's the stage name I've adopted all the while because it also shows who I am, the goldfish. I have no hiding place.
You can't hide.
I don't even try.
Even if you wanted to.
No, I could. You need to see some of my films that you wouldn't even know I was the one. The way I was, they have a new film coming that you wouldn't know that I'm the one in that.
I'm looking forward to not seeing you.
So, then you're going to enjoy that one.
Okay. It's good to see you again.
Same here, sir.
But you were a merchant banker. What you doing in front of the screens? Bankrolling the films?
Well, yes. Now you see, I like a couple of things you said. Bankrolling the films because that's actually the next thing on my table right now. Bankrolling films and film producing. I actually just finished my directing class. Yesterday was my last day in directing school, so bankrolling will be there. But how did I get from banking to acting? So I grew up in a family where we loved films. My father was a, classic man. We watched all the classic films, Gone with the Wind, My Fair Lady, Sounds of Music, Raid of MTV, those kind of classic
The King
films.
And I.
Those kind of films, The Wizard of Oz. So I always loved films. So anytime we watched the film at home, I was the one who would act the character. I'll play my character. The honky-tonk man, I'll play the guitar all day. So then I started doing drama and theater plays since primary school. I even remember lines from my first play in primary 4. So all the way, my primary school, secondary school, church, polytechnic, university, all my life I've been doing, theater, drama, stage, MCing. But I always wanted to be an actor. And I got into banking, which I absolutely loved. I worked with Stanbic IBTC Bank for 9 years. Loved it. But I was doing that on the side. But eventually I knew, I had to ask myself, okay, where am I going really? What do I want to do with my own life? And I realized that, look, you are an entertainer. You want to do this. So I went to film school. That's the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles. I studied acting for film. I came back and it was too clear that I was just going to resign. So I resigned. And that movie we just saw at the first movie they showed, the trailer they showed, that was my 7th film. And that was the film that actually brought me out there. So I just basically resigned from the band. People couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But I just knew it was time and I took the bull by the horns, resigned. And post-banking, it's been 7 years now and it's been very good.
Wow. Awesome. Must have taken some scary courage.
Honestly, I still think back. Now. I'm like,
what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? But the beautiful thing is that I don't have any regrets. Not for one day. Never. It's been an amazing journey, and I sincerely wish that people would just go for their dreams. Go for what you really want in your heart.
It's easy for you to say, some people would say, and here is why. There is someone watching right now who wants to go into films. Someone wants to go into movies. Someone wants to go into music. Somebody just wants to go into the cottage industry. Someone just wants to sit down and weave all day. But then when they look at their bills, they're like, I'll do it tomorrow.
All right, so this is where I'm going to comment that, look, the thing is, okay, what options do you have? It's either you live the dream or you don't live the dream, but you'd always need to have a plan. So I also had a plan that, okay, certainly, because before I also moved to films, I worked for 9 years in banking. 9. That was almost a decade. So I had time to save, to plan, and I was also doing a little bit of it by the side. But there came a time where I knew you either have to jump now because you might be too late. So eventually I still come back to the fact that there must be a plan. Then whatever you want to do, you can't just jump into it. Start doing it on the side. So if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to sing, start finding a way to sing on the side. There will come a time where as you're feeding it, it will grow enough, but when you can take a risk. But you must take a risk. You must take a risk. Absolutely. That's what makes it all worthwhile, that you take a risk.
Now, so you jump. And then you get into the puddle called Nollywood. And then you find that, wow, I think I need to find a new pair of shoes, or I think I need to, I was standing so well in banking, my feet were solid on the ground, but now it's like this sand is washing off of my feet. How did you find your feet?
All right, so firstly, I'm going to firstly say that, look, God was also instrumental. I'm going to put that out there, that God really helped me. And so first off is the fact that I'm talented, and I thank God for that. I built that over time. But I took a risk, remember, and I went for an audition. So this movie with Kunle Afolayan on the Tribunal, which was the movie that brought me out there, it was an audition I went for.
Wow.
I've never met Kunle Afolayan before, didn't know him. I just came back from film school. I didn't even see the audition. A friend of mine, Debo Johnson, who were together in film school, sent me the audition notice that there's this audition. So I'd done a couple of films in Abuja then. I was living in Abuja, like 6 films, just like, 1 scene, 2 scenes. I didn't do all that Fanning the King one. So I done that. So eventually, so the day before, and this is where I think this is where I see the God factor. A day before the interview, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for it. I just felt, why don't you just go for it? And I was in banking then. So, and when I was in banking, I used to like to dress sharp, 3-piece suits. I love suits. I'm a James Bond kind of guy. So that day on a Friday, rather than wear native, I wore suit, 3-piece suit, everything, flew to Lagos for the audition, got to the audition, we met, and it was coincidental that he needed an albino for the film. The albino in the film was a banker. I was a banker at that time, and then I was dressed like a banker. So it was easy for him to see that. So that was how I got that job. So it was from my performance in that job that people saw, oh, this guy, who's this guy? There's no albino in the industry. Where did this guy come from? Such amazing, performances. Then I started getting there. Then I also looked at what other things do I have that I could use. I also know that my voice. So I got in touch with the Voiceover Academy. That's the best voiceover school, in Nigeria, in West Africa, actually. These guys are amazing. So I did voice training at the Voiceover Academy. I trained Sheon Shobon, heads that, and it was amazing. So from there, I started getting jobs. I've done voice for FCMB, I've done for Kuda Bank, I've done for a couple of other people. I MC as well. So I brought out everything I do in the entertainment industry, MCing, voice, acting, like, okay, I'm going to be there. And that's how it's worked out, you know, from one job to another job, to great jobs, to high-profile jobs, to big-budget jobs. I just keep going. And I also knew that I needed to push a certain frontier. We don't have people living with albinism in the industry. And I had to like, okay, I'm going to go headlong and make it happen. I mean, I had one director who had said, why do you want to be an actor? Do you see any albino in the industry? And I thought to myself, voila, then that's the trick. If there's nobody there like me, then that's why I should be there. That's also one, apart from my passion and talent. So I didn't see it as something to scare me. I thought, if there's nobody there, then do it. And whenever you get a role, play. And there's no role I've played that anyone has ever said, oh, anyone can do it better. No, my roles are my roles. And now we have lots of people with albinism right there in the industry who I mentor and support. You know, everybody's just doing their thing. So it's been a good ride. Tough. Let me not sound like it's tough because, you know, sometimes you don't get to work, sometimes the work comes, and, you know, sometimes producers may, you know, still look at the stereotypical type. How do we place this guy? But I keep showing that I'm just like
we need to talk about that because to a good number of people, even to you, your own situation may be peculiar, but so is the situation of other people. They have their own peculiarities as well. I mean, they would also come sit in the same chair you're sitting in and say, it's been tough. For instance, I'll tell you my job is tough. Right?
I mean, it better be tough. But you're doing an amazing job out there. I mean, look at you. Every day, you're shining out there whenever we see you. So, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm proud of you. You're doing great.
Well, we haven't gotten to the point where you interview me. I'm the one interviewing you.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's not an interview yet. That's a compliment.
Okay, I'm just kidding. So tell us about those challenges.
Okay. So I'm in a society where, firstly, the issue of albinism is grossly misunderstood, with a lot of myths and a lot of misconceptions and a lot of whatnot and all that. There's the perspective that people just look at, you know, Yoruba say that, Orisha laughing. So there's the people who have Orishalized me. So, you know, they're bring palm oil. Yeah. I mean, and palm oil is expensive now. I wish they would, you know, with chicken and all that, just to lay at the entrance of my house, you know, and rice and all that. I think I would eat more food chop. You know, so there's that. You know, that misconception and all that. So there's also the fact that, you know, a lot of producers say, okay, if it's in the film, is it fit for the character? Does it look like everyone else? So I know there's that thing that goes on the other ground. But one of the things that I've been doing is to push for inclusion, firstly, but to also show people that, because on a regular day, I live a normal life. There's no way that, it's not like I'm living like an albino, for example. I mean, I live a normal life. I wake up, I drive my car, I go to where I want to eat, I meet the people I like, I'll say hello to the ladies I fancy, I'll do whatever I want to do, just like a regular guy. So that's one of the things I try to portray in my characters that has also helped me, that when I play a role, you don't see the skin tone, you see the character, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of, you know, skills and talent, which I thank God for, and a lot of continued training. So that's one of the things that's helped me. But also it's hard because, you know, I may just not be the regular for everything. So which I can do. So slowly and surely, it's daily trying to be persistent and show that I can play lover boy, I can play anything. So now there are roles that I normally play easily now, you know, comedy, villains, doctors, lawyers, those ones comes easy and all that. I mean, they usually just give the lover boys to Kunle Remi most of the time, and those kind of guys. But yeah.
So that's your competition?
No, he's not competition. No, he's a very good friend. I am the only competition I have. I'm not competing with anybody.
No, I was just kidding about that lover boy role. So I mean,
no, but I'm actually curious, and I played one or two, but I like to just step in and play a lot of, so that I can also show that look, man, I got a lot there as well, because at the end of the day, it's showing that it can be done, and that's what I've shown so far. But yeah, I'd love to step to some of those roles. And what I'm also doing is I'm also in the process of creating some of my own shows, because sometimes if they don't give you the plate of food, you can just cook it yourself, then serve the world and look, see, I could cook this, you know.
Well, wait until I get into the kitchen. But you know, to the industry. It's actually very interesting, because I've been around for long enough to know that the entertainment industry, and I'm taking it holistically, has evolved.
Oh, yes.
It has evolved. Back in time, the only songs you listened to were what we called old school now.
Yeah.
The Shalamars, the Bob, Bob James, the James Browns.
You're quite older than I am.
As I was saying, so all those ones, but now we call them old school now, right? Same thing with the movies, same thing with the series, the Love Boats, the Charlie's Angels, the Hawaii Five-O, the Dallas, and the rest of them. Those are the things. But today we seem to be having, those are the things we saw then. But even now, even then, we had these Nigerian series like the Village Headmasters, the Masquerades, and Uchenkus, and all those series. In terms of evolution, what have you seen? What do you like? What do you want to be done better?
Okay, so far so good. There's been we are evolving. Now, first off,
we're still evolving.
Yeah, we're still evolving. We're going to be evolving for a long time. We always just keep evolving. We never stop evolving. So we're going to thank God for where our music is at. Afrobeats to the world. So in that area, we are leading. But our films are also catching up. They're becoming better. We're now telling better stories. Thankfully, we now have Netflix, we have Prime, we have Paramount, we have all these distribution channels that have come to Nigeria. So we now have bigger platforms to put our films on. So that also now puts a pressure from top to bottom, meaning that we need to, because now that our films go around the world, we now need to start producing better films. So if you notice,
more competitive ones.
Yes, also, yes. And, films that would also make money. So we're now telling better stories. Acting is getting better. The storylines are getting better. Cinematography is getting better. Costuming is getting better. The whole food chain in Hollywood industry is everybody is now finding a spot. Like, you look at big films like Gangs of Lagos that went all around the world. That was a story told by Jade Oshibero. Those kind of movies now are coming out and going out there. So over time, we're not there yet. We're not at the big budgets there, and we're not even trying to compete with Hollywood at the moment because we can't, because we don't have that budget. But one thing I must say is that Nollywood is an industry that is making miracles with the little they have. We're making a lot of miracles. Look at that, and like you talked about series as well. There's some major series that have been coming up. Look at what Kunle Afolayan has done with Anikulapo. At the moment, we're shooting the second series now. So Anikulapo is also that a big series that's going over the world. We're telling original African stories. There's a new film that we have that's coming on the 30th of August. It's called The Weekend. Now, it's a thriller. So Nollywood is now evolving, and we're now beginning to make thrillers, like real thrillers. If you're going to go to the cinema, you should go with someone so you can hold someone's hand while watching it. But it's a high-budget film made by Trino Motion Pictures, and it's well done. But it's a thriller. So we're beginning to take bigger risk. We're beginning to enter into, bigger waters. We're beginning to do bigger films. We're doing action now. So we're evolving. We're constantly evolving. And every time we keep pushing the bar. We keep raising the bar. So I'm really proud of Nollywood. Like I said, it's an industry making miracles out of nothing. But we are growing. We're evolving. And yes, there's a very big future. Now we're having collaborations. More people are coming in. The whole market, they're interested in what's going on in Africa. By 2030, we'll be doing serious miracles.
I'm actually very excited, and what's the word now? I'm very hopeful, and here is why. So many people are doing so many things now that they probably never thought they would.
Yes.
And I'm very sure that the forefathers of movie making in Nigeria are very proud. Jimmy Odumosu's, this other guy who made the black president, and so many of them like that. They are quite, But one thing that we perhaps need to watch, one of those things I think we perhaps need to begin to watch, is the entry level.
Okay.
Someone just sleeps and wakes up, can't speak a word, can't even string a sentence together in local parlance without using some words that shouldn't be used.
Okay.
And they want to act. Oh, I've seen that Damilola Ogunsi. That guy is amazing. I want to be like him, and that's all.
Thank you.
As I was saying, that's all. They just want to get in simply because someone is making money, someone is making a name. So do you think there is a need for entry level, for acting in the country?
Yes. So this is what's going to eventually happen. Now that Nollywood is stepping out into the world, producers are very intelligent people who understand that now that your films are crossing the borders, they're not limited to cinemas in Nigeria, crossing the borders, you need to put your best foot forward. So it's now who has the real talent, the real acting that's global. You don't want somebody to watch your film. You don't want a Martin Scorsese to watch your film in Hollywood and laugh and say, who are these jokers? So everybody's now trying to put their best foot forward. And there are lots of, actors coming up who are hot and hungry. So what that is eventually going to translate to is that it's important that we begin to have solid film schools. If you want to become a pilot, you just don't go and tinker with the plane and jump in and try to... You don't want to become a lawyer, you have to go to law school. You want to become a doctor, you have to go to medical school. Nollywood has just become a big orphanage for everybody. Once you don't have anything, you just jump in. But it's going to come to a time where, and that's before the end of this decade, where the wheat will be separated from the chaff. Because those who have real talent will now begin to cross international boundaries. Those who don't have will be limited to... Now, they'll still continue working, but they'll be limited to certain audiences where they'll focus on. So
I don't even see... My apologies.
No problem.
I don't even see that them really stepping into those shoes. Here is why. I mean, you want to put your movie on Prime, you want to put it on Netflix, you want to put it on Showmax, whatever other platform. Yes, you are right. You want to put your best foot forward. So who's going to put someone on the screen that's going to douse the tension of their...
Yeah. So what I was saying is that you see those people here. That's what I was saying, that the wheat will be separated from the chaff. There are some people who will be in those major works. Those who refuse to evolve, they will still have a certain audience.
Where, like people, on stage play?
They will still have all those people. They will still do things that are put on YouTube. See, one big fear about Nollywood is that it's not everybody that consumes Netflix content or Prime content or Showmax content. Yeah. There are some people who they are on YouTube, home video, CD, they are there. All those films. There's I don't want to call any name in particular, but there are regions where they are. Let me give you a case example. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. So rest in peace. There was a time I was in Abuja and Mr. Ibu came, and he and I and a friend of mine, Henry Shield, we actually went out. We wanted to get a couple of things. And we stepped into a store, and so in the front of that store in Wuse 2, there are lots of like abokis and all that, and the shop attendant, all those people were following him like he was Moses about to cross the Red Sea.
Wow.
They were just behind him. What am I trying to say? There is a demography he caters to. So there's a demography he caters to. You may not find the average, you may not find the average Nigerian. You may not find, there are some people at the bottom of the food chain who will watch all those people, and they won't make more money. They'll just be there. So, but rounding off, what I'm just trying to say is that it's important that, these film schools, that we begin to have them, so that people want to enter into the industry, train before you enter, so that you can go far. That's what I really think.
It's well, you've already given us an idea of what to expect from you. The next one.
Have I?
Okay.
Oh, I have not. I have not.
Okay.
So where am I now? So we have a couple of films. We have a couple of films coming out from now to the end of the month. We have, at the end of this month, August 30, we have the biggest thriller that has ever been shot in Nigeria. The Weekend is coming on August 30. It's going to be in all cinemas. Actually, our movie was the only movie that was accepted at Tribeca Film Festival in New York in June. The only movie from Nigeria. It's that good. It's being talked about. Directed by Daniel Luriahi. There's a serious buzz. We have Buchi Franklin in it. Uzo Amaka is there. I am there. Kepi Ekpenyong is there. Gloria Young is there. Couple of seasoned actors. Brutus is there. Couple of seasoned actors. Next month we have And we have Lisa B coming out. We have Olufemi coming out. I have a couple, about four or five other films coming out. We have Make Mission coming out. So Son of the Soil, I shot Son of the Soil with Raz Adoti from Hollywood. He came all the way from Hollywood with his crew to shoot it there. So from now to the end of the year, I got films basically coming out every month that my lovely, beautiful fans watching this should look up to. So, and a couple of action movies as well. So we have a major action film. You've never seen an action film like that. Olufemi is coming up shortly. But above all, I'm stepping into production as well. There are some things I want to do. There are some characters I want to play that presently nobody is casting for them. So I'm going to create them. There's also a new show that's coming that has to do about cars. That's coming as well. We've already shot the pilot for that. So lots coming, production, directing, my voice gigs as well. I'm doing some serious voiceover works, and especially in conjunction with Voiceover Academy. So yes, there's a lot to look forward.
Absolutely.
I'm hosting events and all, so there's a lot to look forward.
So well, hopefully maybe somewhere along the line, just one missus will just come and anyway. Don't talk about.
We can talk about. Oh man,
don't talk about that one yet. Don't talk about
that. That's coming too. With a set of that has to come now. Me, father, future father of triplets. Future father of triplets. No, that's
Damilola Ogunsi, Nigerian actor, banker, movie banker. What else now?
Banker, realtor, car enthusiast, voiceover artist, lover boy.
Is that the one on your card too?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be there, man.
Thank you so much for your time today.
My absolute pleasure. This was really enjoyable. I had a good time.
Oh, you better.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyway, we'll talk about the business of it later. We're back right after now, and something that you want to do. Do you want to lose weight or you want to keep fit? That is our home stretch today. Stay with us.